Hello. Good morning, UT two-legged. Do you mind if I continue out through our sessions by calling you by your first name? Just for the comforting factor, as well as, taking that professional aspect away. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, Kiera, for coming in today. Before we dive deeper into things, I wanted to take the time to ensure to you that you are aware and comprehend our informed consent. If I go too quickly or if you don't understand something, please let me know so that way I can stop and we can go ahead and touch back on that to ensure that you understand fully moving forward. So here you go. I'm just going to give you these. These are copies of our consent forms. I will have you sign them at the conclusion of this, depending on how you feel. If you would like to move forward with me in counseling, or if you would like to seek opportunities elsewhere, we also have an informed consent for that as well. Just to say, a lot of what social work is paperwork. So we just want to make sure that we cross our T's and dot our I's. So a little bit about me. My name is Jocelyn DeWitt. I am also known as Lieutenant DeWitt here on base. I'm a licensed social worker. I have the current educational achievement of a master's degree in social work. I focus on behavioral health, specifically within our command, and I make sure that I lead the assessment team and on the right path to ensure that we have access to the sailors as well as them having access to us. So a little bit about the sessions are going to be that they could range between 45 minutes to an hour and a half, and they're completely covered by the Navy and TRICARE. I am also a part of the Navy, so it's a little bit different than if you were to go to Fleet and Family or if you were to go to another counseling service out in town. That would have to be 100% taken care of through TRICARE to ensure that they get their payment and things of that nature. So when it comes to a payment plan and everything like that, that is something that we do not have to worry about here in our sessions. So just a little bit about why we're here. We're here because we want to ensure that the Navy has access to behavioral health counselors, as well as just to, make sure that as sailors, you do not feel as though you are going through traumatic experiences, separation from family, failure to advance, any type of traumatic experience that could happen in life. We want to ensure that you are not going through that alone. We also have a goal that you do not need long-term counseling from us, rather short-term, such as a few weeks or a few months. That does not mean that you cannot revisit us in the future after completion of sessions. In accordance to whatever issue you came here for. We will constantly be readily available to you, and we will make sure that you're not tackling life alone and that you always have an outlet where need be. I prefer to know about cancellations of appointments at least 24 hours in advance where it deems possible, but I'm also very understanding and aware that this may not be the case sometimes, and you might need to cancel, 15 minutes prior. So we just want to make sure that we have constant communication and that you're comfortable enough to let me know when things are not favored and you may need to cancel or reschedule. Throughout our time together, I just want to express some concerns that I may have moving forward, and that's going to be throughout some of the traumatic experiences that you are willing to share with me. There may be more information that is given where I need to bring in another counselor or bring in another authority to ensure that we take care of that specific situation at the best of our abilities. So with that, I do follow a very confidential policy. It's very, very strict, and what we say in sessions will be held between the two of us. But there are some exceptions to that. One being, if you are going to cause harm to yourself or others, there may be a need for me to get other authorities involved in that, as well as if you are an asset to be dangerous or harmful to others, I may need to involve that specific person by letting them know, that you have a certain feeling with them, as well as potentially get others involved in that situation so that we can further assess it. If you have ideas of killing yourself or killing someone else, that is our number one reason to get others involved. We just want to make sure that we assist you in whatever way is necessary. If there is a child or a potential elderly that there is danger against, as well as if there is sexual abuse that has been or is currently taking place, I will most likely need to get others involved in that to further evaluate and further investigate that situation. So with that being said, that is pretty much what is explained on the first form that you have, as well as this right here. So if you were to say want to get services from one of the counselors that's under me, because I am the head of this program, we do come together for peer review. We also have instances where we do certain case studies, and we talk about them to ensure that we are all building and becoming better as social workers. So with that, it's all for educational purposes. If your information is brought up during those sessions, you will be completely covered, and no one's going to know it's you. So we refrain from using your name. We also refrain from saying what command you're a part of, or what battalion, what unit, what squadron. We don't put anything out there. We also keep from saying personal information such as where you're from, your gender, stuff like that. So basically, in those situations, I'm not going to call you a male if you're a female to protect that. I'm more so just going to avoid that altogether. But when it comes to your command, say, you're Battalion 1, we'll say you're Battalion 133, and vice versa. We will make sure that if you are 133, you're called as Battalion 1. So you do not need to worry about any of that when it comes to the consent to allow us to use potential information from a case study. So your details, your personal details will always be secure with us. Furthermore, if you have expressed a warrant or a subpoena to attend court, if you're avoiding responsibility of that, I may need to get others involved. It's the same thing for if you are avoiding laws or the military regulation in accordance with the Code of Military Justice. If those are ignored, altered, or even broken, I'm going to have to get somebody involved in that case as well. And it's really just for the safety of you, to ensure that, we take the best route possible to protect you and to make sure that everybody who need to know is aware of what's going on. So with that, if everything sounds good, I'm going to have you sign that first form. If for any reason medication or physician's attention is needed, that's what that second form is for. So I'm going to have you sign that as well. That basically just says that if I need to refer you to a physician because of harm or danger, I'm able to do that. Or if I need to get you prescribed medication, I'm able to refer that to your physician or your lead HM to ensure that you do get that taken care of. If at any time you have a family issue, specifically to a spouse or an immediate family member, and you need me to reach out to them, please just know that we acknowledge that one on that third form, and we want to make sure that we communicate with them as well and verify their consent. So they will have this same brief and make sure that they are aware of the informed consent variable before proceeding to gain information from them. If there are any questions, I would like for you to ask them before you sign any of the paperwork, just to make sure that you fully understand and you comprehend the information provided to you, because I know you read it and there might be some big words in there, or statements that are not necessarily clear. So I want to make sure that you have a broad understanding of exactly what is going on moving forward in our sessions. Okay, perfect, perfect. I'm glad that you are ready to move forward with these sessions with me. I also want you to know that we do tend to assess in the first one or the first couple, just to ensure that we're the best fit for each other. So moving forward down the road, if we're 3, 4, 5 sessions in and we realize we're not really getting anywhere, or the same things are being touched on because there's a discomfort to share more information, I might be able to refer you to other counselors, or might be able to just lead you in the right direction to get a referral for a counselor out in town. So with that being said, if you could go ahead and sign, that would be great. Please excuse my emotional support animal. All right, perfect. Thank you so much for signing those. And with that being said, and those being signed, let's continue with our session.